Jake, are you there?
Sorry, I was talking on mute. So thank you so much, Rochelle. I appreciate the introduction and also setting up the whole webinar for us. I would also like to join you in welcoming Tom, our guest from F-Secure today. He's a security expert and a veteran of our service provider industry. So let me share my presentation and then we'll be off to the, okay. So,
Jake, before you start your presentation, I forgot one thing.
sure.
We're also gonna do, we're gonna announce the winner at the end of the webinar. So, you have to stay towards the end of the webinars. So you'll get a chance to win that ringing doorbell.
Oh, that's the most, that's the best part of your introduction. How come you missed it? So yeah, we do have a Ring smart home doorbell for you as a prize, a raffle, and Rochelle will do the honors at the end. So I hope Rochelle, guide me here. Can you see the screen?
I can see it perfectly.
Awesome. So let's start. I have a very simple agenda. Thank you all. First of all, let me thank you all for your time. We really appreciate it, and I hope you'll find it useful. We have a very simple agenda for you. We would like to talk a little bit, give you an introduction to cybersecurity. Of course, most of you are quite aware. We'll just kind of do a quick introduction, get into eHome Shield solution. What are the things that we are offering? Talk a little bit about the mobile app. I'll show you a quick demo of the mobile app that accompanies the products we have for eHome Shield. And then finally, the newer part of this presentation will be, we'll talk about a bunch of marketing and sales tools that we have. So for this particular solution, we wanted to make sure that we just don't bring you a great product, but we also wanted to make sure that we have the necessary tools to make it easy for you to deploy the services and promote it and sell it. So we'll cover, that's the plan. Let's get into it. So first, right off the bat, I mean, we're all living in the era of IoT and smart home devices. And in the last 2-3 years, especially after Alexa took off, the number of smart home devices in homes have rocketed.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
I don't know if you guys could hear it, but when I said Alexa, the one at my house started responding. Anyway, so as you bring more and more of these smart home devices, the security in your house is is threatened, and the security is almost as strong as the weakest link. Now, most of these IoT devices, they're really small. They tend to be relatively inexpensive, and they were never designed for security or with security in mind. Most of these devices have very specific tasks that they do well, but then beyond that, they are not capable of much. They have very low speed processor and such. So, and the problem with that is, as soon as any of these devices, either it's your light monitor or your smart lock or your thermostat, any of these devices is breached, it kind of opens up your entire home, right? And so that's the problem that we are facing right now. And when that happens, when you have a security breach, what can go wrong? So loss of privacy, I mean, this is the biggest problem, right? Your kids can be exposed, and if you have a nanny cam or security cameras, identity theft, this is also a huge problem. Physical safety, you have a smart lock or a smart camera that gets hacked into, now physical safety is also in danger. And finally, these viruses and bloatware and the tracking software that gets installed into your system makes it gunks up your entire home network, and it causes significant speed issues. Now that the end users don't know what is causing, but they know who to blame, and invariably it is always the service providers. You guys get the phone call, and you are always to blame. So these are all the issues that you can get into. So now let's talk about the solution. So that's where eHome Shield comes in. Now, if we look at this picture right here, the access to your home, the best place, like everything on the right, all the devices on to the right are connected to your home router, and that's the reason why we call it the gateway, because that device is the gateway to the rest of the internet. It is the gateway to the cloud, so to speak. So if we can put security on this gateway, that will ensure that everything behind it, all the 50, 60 different devices that you have inside your home, from security cameras to door locks to thermostats, they can all be secured by placing a really powerful security system onto the gateway. And that is exactly what eHome Shield does. Is what we've done is we've partnered with world leader in security, F-Secure. They've been around for 30 years, and they're a global provider of security solutions, both enterprise and consumer. And so we partnered with them to develop this solution and put it, so it's the eHome Shield security solution that most of our newer and existing devices come built with. So we've taken F-Secure's security product, gateway security, which they call Sense, and we have embedded it into Zyxel gateways, right? Now that offers you, like we saw, a whole lot of solid protection right at the perimeter where you need it the most. And the three components of this solution, one of course is the gateway, the other one is F-Secure controls the security cloud, where they're constantly learning from information from all of these devices that are installed, millions of devices installed all over the world. And they're constantly learning, constantly improving, and tracking information and stopping security threats. And the last but not the least, the third component of this entire system is the mobile app, which allows your end users to kind of view their home network and set up controls and get alerts, which we will talk about soon. So that's basically the eHome Shield solution in a nutshell. So here are the top features. And we talked about smart home and IoT protection. That is extremely important, right? Safe browsing. And that's where you are protected against anti-phishing attacks, where companies that pose to be your bank and then steal your information, that's the kind of attacks that we're trying to protect you from. Viruses. This is the most common type when we think of when we think of cyber security, we think of antivirus. That's definitely there. And again, your thermostat does not have antivirus software. So that's why you need this. Anti-tracking, whenever you go to different websites, they kind of have these tracking software that they add to your computers and your devices, which kind of try to track you. And so that the software is going to stop that and improve your speed, improve your data usage as well. And finally, but this is the most important, family protection. And we'll see how this goes way beyond simple rule setting when your kids can access internet and when they can't. We've made it really powerful by adding content filtering. And again, really powerful content filtering that can be enabled very simply by just using some key headings like adult content or gambling or violence. And the system is smart enough to use that and block all the related websites. So we think IoT security, antivirus, and family protection, these are going to be the top draws, the easy sell for, because there is, the last couple of years has seen a huge, in North America and elsewhere, a huge awareness about these problems. Every day we hear about security camera getting hacked, or with even two-year-olds and 3-year-olds having tablets, access to tablets. It has become really important to put family protection, parental control on these devices, content filtering on these devices. So these are families understand the importance, and we believe these are going to be easy sell. So let's look into the products. So eHome Shield for Zyxel is a suite of 3 different products. So the first one is basically eHome Shield, which is the gateway security product, right? It's what most of our existing and new gateways will come built in with this security feature by F-Secure. So it offers cybersecurity protection, IoT, family protection, all the good stuff. But the thing is, this is for home. So all the devices inside your homes are protected, no problem. But what happens when you take your devices outside the home, outside the protection of your home router? When you're taking these devices, your laptops or your mobile phones outside and using them at airports or using them at Starbucks, there, since you're not connected to the gateway, your home gateway, the gateway is not going to protect you. So how are you going to protect your devices then? Since F-Secure is a leader in all sorts of different security solutions, we've been able to bundle one of the mobile device security solutions and create another product for you. So basically, we've created 2 different products. One is the gateway security, plus we give you 5 licenses. And again, this is something, I'm saying you, but it's for your subscribers. 5 licenses for other mobile devices. They can be a Windows-based device, they can be an Android device, or it can be an iOS device. So any of these operating systems are supported. Again, very easy to install, and it's an antivirus and has all these security features built in. And now you can take the protection to go, hence the name 5 on the go and 10 on the go. So we have 2 different products for that. One which gives out 5 licenses, the other one that gives out 10 licenses. So these are the 3 different products. Service providers have an option to pick 1, 2, 3, whatever you think is most suitable for your subscribers, and whatever that you think you want to sell to your subscribers, offer it as a service. As far as the supported devices, EMG 3425, which is our Ethernet gateway for fiber deployments. We've got the VMG 4825, which is the bonded VDSL2 gateway with 11 AC Wi-Fi. And these 2 have, we've sold millions of these devices, and they're deployed right now. Our customers have an installed base that they can upsell security services to. So that's what we wanted to do. We just didn't want to have newer devices with this solution. We wanted the existing devices so that service providers can add this as a value-added service and even offer better experience and reduce customer churn, because now they have multiple services with them. And then we have launched 2 new products recently, the 6726, which is again an Ethernet-based gateway for fiber, and VMG 4927, which is another bonded VDSL2 gateway and all these 4 devices have eHome Shield built in, and today, so you can contact your salesperson for evaluation. Now, on the right on this slide, I have provided you some guidelines. So when we decided to kind of work on the pricing and everything, we did extensive research on the market, what kind of pricing is possible in terms of for service providers. So if a service provider wanted to sell a service like this, what kind of pricing could they expect to charge? And in our research, we found about $5 to $6 a month per household seems very reasonable, and we've kind of taken that as a benchmark. Now, if you're offering mobile device licenses, depending on 5 or 10, you can charge anywhere from $11 to $15. And again, this is just a kind of guideline. There are so many ways, and we'll talk about that in the marketing sales side of the presentation. There are so many different ways in which you can bundle or package this solution. It opens up a lot of different options for service providers on how to monetize this service and generate revenue. So these are just some ballpark numbers. So based on that, we've for a typical we've created like a revenue curve, service revenue curve for you. So the white line shows only basic the eHome Shield, which is just the gateway security. And depending on the number of subscribers you have, that's the kind of revenue you can generate on an annual basis. And this is pretty much a turnkey solution, as you will see. So there is, very little, there is no inventory or none of that expenses. And we're offering you tools to make it very easy for you to go out and deploy and sell this service. So kind of gives you, and the blue line is we're taking, let's say if it is an 80% take rate for the gateway eHome Shield service, and there is a 20% take rate for some of the more advanced with the endpoint security services, then you can see the blue trajectory of revenue based on the number of subscriptions that you can sell. Okay. Wanted to share a slide that shows you that we really, wanted to, we believe at Zyxel to provide you with best of breed. We don't try to do everything ourselves because we think that there are, we can leverage, we want to offer you the best solution and not just it to be something that is just Zyxel. So we, F-Secure has, as these awards show you, it's one of the best vendors out there. And so you have, so you can rest assured that you have the protection from one of the best vendors in the industry. So let's look at the app. And I talked about the solution, the features. Now let's look at the app really quick. And what I'm going to do is I've been using eHome Shield for a while, and I have connected my eHome Shield app, and I'm projecting it to the laptop so that you can see. So Rochelle, just guide me here. Can you see my my phone?
I can see your phone, Jake.
Yeah, I can see it. Sorry, Jake, I was on mute. Yes.
Oh, thank you. So here's, so basically what you're seeing is my phone. And so I have the eHome Shield Sense app. And so it shows you all the devices. This is the dashboard, and it basically tells you there are 10 devices on the home network. You can create profiles. I'll show you how to do that in a second. It shows you the threats, and then it shows you events. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's look at, so this tells me all the devices, a very neat, simple way. And by the way, it automatically grabs information about, it recognizes the different devices. So I have not changed any of these names. This is something that the app was automatically able to pick up. So as you can see, KA Jakes is my laptop's name, and it was able to grab that. G7 Think is the phone that I'm currently using for this. It's my cell phone. I have a Roku TV, which it was able to recognize, and I have Echo Dot, which is the Amazon. So it's very easy to change the name, and I can do this, and I can change the name. So I want, this is Echo, right? So that's great. I have an iPhone as well, so it's so I can do that now. It'll show me some basic information about the device. And here again, it shows you the protection settings. So I have all of these protection. I'll turn everything on. Then let's do a profile. So here I can easily add a profile. So let me add a profile for Jane, and then I can change that way. If you have multiple kids, let's do this. Let's pick, okay, and then continue. And it says you can set up family rules, so we can do that. You can assign devices. So I want to assign the phone, even though it's Jake's, I want to assign it to Jane. Let's do that. You can set some schedule for the child. And then here, this is the best part. This is what I was talking about. You have content filtering, which is turned on. You can turn it off if you don't want it, and then you can customize this. So what do you want? Do you want to block adult content, drugs, alcohol? All of these are headings or tags that you can use to easily block. If you want to let Jane date, then you can enable that and finish. That's as easy as that. So now let me show you what happens. So that's showing you the profile. And then let's go to home. If I say profile, it shows me, so I have one profile for Jane. Now let me go to, I'm going to use my iPhone and try to get on a website. So Bevmo, I don't know, I like to use Bevmo, but we can say Johnny Walker. How about that? So obviously an alcohol website. So I'm trying to access an alcohol related website. It is taking, so I wasn't able to access it. Unfortunately, I can't do two of these at the same time. But you will see how, as a parent, you can find out, not only will the website get blocked, but as a parent, you can easily find out. So now, if you notice, events now has one item there. Let me see what that item is. So it says that there was content filtered on the site. And so it tells you that one of your children tried to access an objectionable site, either for whatever reason, and they were blocked. So it not only blocks the information, but gives you a notification as well that that's very helpful. So that's kind of in a nutshell. Tom, do you have anything else you would like to add here? Or?
I think you've done a very good job there, Jake. So it does, as you've seen on the tin, it's really simple to set up the profiles and apply them. And the event log gives parents good granular visibility. So, you can go and have that conversation with your child while they're trying to get onto an alcohol website, for example.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, I really like that feature. So, it's not just blocking, but there is some feedback, which is very helpful. So this kind of gives you, of course, it's very easy to use, and it gives you some idea, some understanding of how the app works. So let's move on and let's get to the rest of the presentation. So I'm going to get back to, okay, so share. Okay, I hope you guys can see the the presentation now.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so we looked at, again, this is just a brief overview of the app screens, and we saw the live demo. Now let's get into the marketing part. So this was the second half of this presentation where I wanted to, I'll spend about 15-20 minutes to show you, give you some, based on our experience, and some kind of tips on some of the marketing aspects of it, and also the tools that we have for you to not just deploy the service very quickly, but also to help you sell it and promote it to your end users. So here's a basic go-to-market framework. And I'd like to thank F-Secure. A lot of this information is also based on their experience with other service providers. So we appreciate that. So here you can see product positioning. So these are the top, the top level items that you want to, that you could typically follow in terms of gearing up to deploy something like this. So you've got the product positioning part where you're looking at all your customer base, you're doing some segmentation, you're thinking about the messaging, value proposition, pricing, and like I mentioned, we've tried to make this very aggressive in terms of the pricing and everything, because it opens up a lot of different options for telcos in terms of, or service providers in general, of how they can package this service, either offer it separately or make it part of a higher tier service. Some of the customers are effectively doing that. They're doing a premium 1 gig service or 5 or 200 gig service, where they're bundling this, the gateway security as part of the service itself. So there are so many different ways in which you can monetize this product. That's the beauty of it. Next up, you want to map out the user journey. And this is not just the consumer, the end user journey, but also the different stakeholders within the company, the sales agents, the support people. You want to create, because that if there is excitement, if there is understanding about the product within the company, I think it makes it more useful, a more successful overall strategy. For example, once we launched, pretty much everybody at Zyxel has or is in the process of getting this service. Because this is one of those few things which everybody can find useful and get behind it, right? Who doesn't want security? Who doesn't want their homes and privacies to be more secure? So so that's what we did. Even at Zyxel, we had several different training sessions, not just for for the salespeople, but also for engineering and for our other staff who were able to start using the service. Then once you get to the launch part, of course, there is the sales channel activation, promotional email, documents, and we'll talk a little bit about omni-channel promotions later on and the kind of stuff we have for you to successfully do that. And post-launch, throughout the life cycle, there is, short and long-term plans. How do you upsell existing customers? Like I said, we've made sure that two of our top-selling products that have a whole bunch of these devices already installed, they also support this. So it's a great tool to go out and generate more revenue from your existing customers and keep them customers for a long period of time. Okay. So here's very interesting, and this is something to help you segment different demographics. So based on, so these are, there's a direct correlation between people who are going to be excited about IoT and families and who are going to be interested and into something like a cybersecurity solution. And we feel, I mean, this is just one type of segmentation where you have millennials and couples with young kids. They're definitely prime targets for something like this. And once you have this kind of segmentation, it's easier for you to custom make messages, and we will help you with that as well. And of course, there are older married couple, singles, and then even when you look at older couples, the retired category, in this case, a lot of these, they can be, their caretakers can be a huge, just because their level of involvement with this kind of product is low doesn't mean that they're not the right target, but you just have to figure out a different way of doing it. In fact, elderly are the most commonly targeted people for phishing attacks. So, if you target the caretakers, their children, in the right way, I think it just means that you have to massage the messaging in the right form. So again, customer value proposition. So F-Secure did a consumer survey, and they've learned, and some of these are findings from them. So Sense basically is eHome Shield, which is just the gateway security, and Sense and Safe is the eHome Shield with mobile devices, right? And there is almost 63% find an overall security, all-in-one security more appealing and are willing to pay for it. Okay. Again, multi-channel, having messaging, once you decide to, once you're launching, having different marketing materials. And again, this is where we can help you create different value propositions, create videos and promotional emails, content we can provide you. And we have created content, which I will share with you, that you can use on your websites and your social media, so on and so forth. So the best way or the most successful way to market is have an omni-channel, multi-channel strategy. And that will give you 82% more success, more revenue, more sales than just one or two, because that's where all the effort and fruits are hidden. So here's a video we've created, and
we can see it, Jake, but there's no music or sound background.
That's okay. So this is the video we've created, and this is something to help you promote eHome Shield to your end users. Again, you can call it whatever, you can give it a different name. eHome Shield is what we call it when we sell it to service providers, but you can call it a different name. And this actually has voiceover. Unfortunately, you can hear it over the webinar. But this is a great tool that you can, we can give you this video instead of the eHome Shield logo. It's very easy to swap out and have your company logo in there. It's already made available to you for education purposes, for promotion purposes. So again, this describes the entire solution and the mobile app. And through the mobile app, it is talking about the different features. I think it kills two birds with one stone. It talks about the features and how families can access the features using the mobile app. Again, it's going through creating a profile, things that we just described, we saw in the app. And again, some of these parts at the end are easy to customize. You can make it your own. And again, we have a lot more of these tools. This is another video we've created that helps them with the onboarding process. And how do you take this and how do you, so with eHome Shield, we've not just created a solution, but this is truly an turnkey solution. So we've developed a billing system as well for you that this video describes, that you can quickly and easily deploy these services, send out emails, send them voucher links that they can easily, via email marketing, you can send this out to them. They can click on links, and within 5 minutes, they can order the service, enable it, and activate it, everything within 5 minutes. So that's what this video describes. Again, this is something we created. This would be something that you would use for your end users once you have a service like this. So let me share this with you. This is self-explanatory. It does not have any audio, it's just music, but it very clearly explains how the whole process works. So this is basically an email. Through email marketing, you are sending these out to your existing customers. And that is going to be a huge part of this service, is how do you take your existing customers and leverage that. So now they click on the link and they're directed to your page, your where they accept the terms and conditions and sign up. Then they're effortlessly diverted to my F-Secure page where they create an account, and all that information automatically gets copied. All they have to do is pick a password. That's it. Now at this point, they receive an email which requires them to activate, which requires them to verify. This is the security, and anybody who's enabled any online service knows that they have to make sure that they verify their email account. So that's what it's doing. So it gets, after you activate, after you verify your email, you can activate. So again, this has, the email has an app link right there. So you don't have to go searching, looking for the app. Click the app, install it. That's your activation code. Again, for legal reasons, you have to accept, the end user will accept the terms and conditions. And now this is the process where the service gets activated. That's it. So this whole system is ready and built for you. So all of this, literally, it takes 5 minutes to go from once the end user receives an email from you saying, hey, this is something that you should look at. It's a very useful service. They click on it. They start the process. Within 5 minutes, they will have enabled the service and have security protection. And during one of these steps, there will be an email sent out to you, to your designated location, so that now you have the end user's information, so you can start billing them on a monthly basis. Okay. So again, this is a great turnkey service, but it gives the telco, you own the customer. It is your customer. You're going to bill them, and it's going to be your service, but you have all the tools ready to go and deploy. Email marketing, we talked, that for your existing customers, this is a huge benefit, or a huge medium to upsell and gain their loyalty, improve, enhance their experience. And research shows that almost 75% more or increase in adoption with email marketing. These are some messaging that we can provide you with in terms of documentation, in terms of email that you can send out and kind of merchandise in different ways. So secure your home, some of the key action items or bullet points that really speak to consumers. Secure your family, again, highlighting the top value proposition here. Secure your digital life. Okay, so some of these things that we can create as templates and we can send it to you. Now, so I would like to kind of round that up with, this should be like the key message that you are trying to promote through all the different channels. Ensure protection for yourself, for your data, for your home, the ones you love. If we were to summarize the whole value proposition of a cybersecurity solution for home and on the go, this would be one sentence. And this can be merchandised and broken up and in all the different ways, and to both to new customers and to the existing base. So, and that's another reason why we've made sure that the EMG 3425 and EMG 4825 have this solution. So every new customer is, of your core broadband product is a potential for even the security value-added service, right? And while you're selling them this solution, while you're selling them high-speed internet or one of your basic products, that would be the perfect time to even talk about security. And Tom, I'm sure you have some insights on this aspect, and if you want to kind of provide your input and maybe talk through this slide, you're welcome to do that.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah, I mean, like Zyxel, F-Secure, our predominant go-to market channel is through providers like most of you here on this call. And we've been pretty successful at that. We've got more than 200 operators around the globe. And one of the things we do is we like to build case studies and lots of data points so we can understand, what works. I mean, obviously, your customers better than anybody, but so we don't tell you how to sell, but we can share best practice cases of things that work and things that don't work in different markets and different situations. And the new customers all your customers are obviously crucially important, but new customers are a fantastic opportunity. One of our biggest case studies actually is a partner in the US, Frontier. Many of you will know them. Back in 2017, they went to market with the launch of a new security proposition, trying to generate new revenue streams. And they did something interesting. They created a separate broadband package that had security on it, which was at a premium compared to the normal broadband. And what they discovered, and they positioned it, their agents and their sales channels is, do you want security, or do you want secure? Do you want broadband, or do you want secure broadband? Pardon. And they saw a massive uplift. It was a really easy way of engaging their different marketing and sales channels. It was really easy for their agents and to tell a story online for their customers. And an interesting side effect of positioning in that way, they actually got an increase in their core broadband uptake, as they were getting the umbrella effect of being associated with a more secure internet provider. And that all fed back into the existing base as well, because I had customers who were kind of keen to get the broadband, the secure band service as well. So it really helped them in terms of retentions and upsells, and also actually just selling the security as a standalone VAS. And we've got multiple examples like that we shared with Jake and the guys, and a lot of the data points you've seen in this slide are based on that kind of information. So, it's in our interest, of course, to help you guys facilitate getting more customers on board as possible. So yeah, guess that's what I wanted to say there, Jake.
Thanks, Tom, and we appreciate the insight. I mean, I really like the idea of do you want broadband service or secure broadband service? That kind of totally moves the conversation in a different direction. Who can say no to no, I don't care for security, right?
Exactly.
And it's also the other point was that's on the slide is quite often your customers might not think of you of service providers as security vendors, right? So having that, training the salespeople. Yeah, we are not just providing also enhancements like Frontier saw, they picked up their core product sales as well. So I think that's fantastic. So, we've talked about targeting existing base. I mean, this is with, service providers are facing uphill battle with TV services from all the over-the-top streaming that's going on, and this is a no-brainer from that perspective in terms of having a gateway security or having a cybersecurity along with endpoint security as a service. It adds valuable revenue stream. Not to mention the more services you can get the end user to commit to, it increases the ARPU, and it also makes it more sticky. So it's definitely a great value proposition. With that, I do have a couple. So and we've talked about this multiple times. Based on recent survey, we found that when you talk to consumers, from a broadband service perspective, the top concern, of course, is speed. The Wi-Fi is the next, and security is 55% said security was among their top concerns. So again, this service becomes very essential. It helps you differentiate. It helps to uplift the brand from a technology vendor. And then, of course, overall, it reduces your support costs as well. You don't get as many phone calls due to viruses and all of those things that can affect the end performance. And you don't get those support calls, and your customers are happy. So there's an overall advantage. And what's the advantage for a Zyxel's eHome Shield service? And why would you look into eHome Shield versus something else. So again, the idea is we have a complete gateway security device and the solution, and we've got family protection, we've got a mobile app. The whole thing is a turnkey solution. We've got 3 different products. So it's, a lot of, we see there's a lot of competition that talk about, content filtering, but that's, a very fancy looking app with content filtering, but that's, that's just tip of the iceberg. There are so many other things that are important. And so, we have bundled all of that to create a solid product for you. Again, best of breed. So Zyxel has been around for 30 years. F-Secure has been around for 30 years. So it's, it's a great partnership to bring you the best solution. And then, to summarize, it's a complete security solution. It's future proof. So, you can offer multiple different products. Telcos or service providers, you own the customer, you build them, but again, it's still turnkey, online activation system, no inventory, and we offer you tools like videos and template emails and so on and so forth, like you saw, so to accelerate your adoption. With that, I would like to thank you and open